Boom, boom. Welcome to, I don't even know. We don't even have a name
What
for
are we
it
gonna call this thing?
yet.
Sunday service. Sunday service.
Welcome to Sunday service, right?
Yeah.
This is Wales Only Axis and Wave 3 TV. Doing our first ever live stream on the Discourse Syndicate Network. And as you guys can tell, this one is specifically about the post chain, what the sacrifice phase is, and what's probably the best way to look at this bad boy. So we're gonna get it cracking ASAP, and yeah, that's pretty much it. How you guys doing today?
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty good. It's sorry, I think Axis is about to. I'll go last. It's all good.
No. You need to go first.
It's
That's what's
just
got to happen.
I'm just having a nice Sunday, just mostly relaxing. I know the emotions are very high on Twitter for multiple things across the market. There's of course everything that's going on with Pulse Chain. There was a live stream with Richard earlier today, and that's definitely the hot topic right now. So
Yeah, that
lots
was
going
pretty
on in the market.
juicy.
It was.
Oh man, I actually watched that. I actually watched that, and that thing was, excuse me, crazy. I mean, I ain't never seen him just have a reason to berate somebody like that before. But what I'm glad he did is that he showed us why he got like that. Like I wasn't really understanding that because he doesn't really flip out on people like that. So
I mean, it was kind of painful to watch from my perspective because the other guy was clearly not understanding what he was saying,
no,
and Richard was getting increasingly irritated with that fact, and so it just wasn't as productive as it could have been.
for sure.
And it ended in some flames on Twitter, which was pretty exciting.
Well, right. That's what made it all make sense for me because typically Richard doesn't trip out like that. You know what I'm saying? He keeps it straight facts, or if you try to berate him, he just lets you because you're ultimately gonna look stupid anyway.
I think he just feels a little underappreciated for raising $22 million for the Sense Foundation.
For sure, bro. I mean, but that's the thing, right? It's like no matter. It's like no matter what, no matter what you say, right? Like no matter what Richard was saying, that dude wasn't trying to hear it, like at all.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. Like Richard was breaking everything down. The guy was literally sticking to his incorrect, theories because he used that word a whole shit ton. And we don't deal in theoreticals here. We deal in reality, right? And the reality is that that guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
That's
And that shit is crazy. I mean, what's crazy is that dude charges people for this shit. Can you imagine paying for that? Yo, it's crazy out there.
Yeah. So, but Wasabi, you want to kick it off? Maybe talk a little bit about what's going on with the markets right now, from your perspective.
Yeah, I'd say it's basically like a light switch if you go from Hex community to everything else. It's basically lights on or lights out. So, if we're talking, I guess we'll start with the worst, which is of course the rest of the market. And I think a lot of it just goes back to like every time you go into like these speculative waves for Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's very easy to get overconfident or like overestimate like how much the market can really run for. I think most people on crypto Twitter have been buying since like the depths of the bear market. So even today, like they're still well in profits. But I would say right now, I look at anytime I see high levels of negativity, like I get, yeah, we're in a bear market right now. But I do have at least my plan to deploy capital slowly during this period of time because I do view it as an opportunity, but I think it's going to take longer than what most people expect. So that's my take, at least the rest of the market. So the more bearish people get, the higher confidence I'll have that we're hitting, let's say, like a local bottom somewhere, but it is going to be, that's what it is. You get 80% drawdowns through these market cycles, and it is what it is. But the cycles are getting longer, and we'll very likely see things, at least the rest of the market, pick up at some later point in time. Now, in Hex Kingdom, it's a bull market, right? Like the last couple months have been very good on the Hex price chart. This type of move that we've been talking about for such a long time is playing out on the price chart. I think the price is up now like 47x since, if on the weekly chart, since the bottom of Big Payday. It's up about 47x, and it hasn't and that doesn't even account in for any coins people received for staking their coins, which, if you stake for a long period of time, you're probably up like 60 to 70x since like the bottom of Big Payday relative to that local bottom. So that three wave is playing out extremely nicely. And then there's, of course, all the data that I know Whales and Axis have on top of that. I think it provides like a very interesting perspective, and just gives more data to look at that, in my opinion, is very, very, very useful, because you have more inputs to kind of paint the picture as to what's actually going on.
Yeah, it was like a 7,500% move from the bottom of the wick at Big Payday to price at 15.
You want me to share the screen access, or you go?
Yeah, you can. I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna play this over while he's talking, because I mean I can kind of illustrate a lot of those points on this chart while he's. But this is the move here. Well, I kind of gotta magnetize this stuff to be exact, but
yeah, I always keep it magnetized because it's annoying.
It's like 74.69 from there. Not bad. We also just like hit an all-time high on volume, which is exciting, and we were the number 4 DApp on Etherscan. So there's a lot of like, we have more stakers. I think we're over 40,000 stakers now. There's like a lot of bullish factors playing out that is just like leading to this huge organic growth. I mean, this chart is literally living proof, because all the transactions are on chain and there's no leverage trading with it. So you're seeing actual like dollars exchanged here, which is kind of exciting, because this is not fluff. This is real volume.
Right. I mean, that's the thing that people don't understand about Hex, right?
Well, there's that factor with the Hex factor wheels, and then there's like the fact of how much money in 4 days went into Pulse. Like just the amount of economic energy in the Pulse and Hex ecosystem is like mind blowing to me.
Yo, it's another beast, bro. It's another beast. I mean, this is probably why we're both still streaming, because we got to talk about all this crazy shit.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to pull up the Hex BTC chart. Thanks for the donation, Parlay. You're the man.
Oh, whoa, $100.
This is a BTC chart, Hex BTC, and I just love it because it's just amazing. Because you have these like periods of time where the chart goes sideways, and those are your times to accumulate more and more shares. And then you get your massive leg up. And I actually outlined this in a Twitter post. It was like December or January, I think it was, and I basically described this in like 3 tweets about how this asset goes sideways and then explodes. We were actually calling for this way back here, But the point of bringing this up is to kind of show you this drawing and kind of show you like how big this move could be. This original move here was a 110% move ish. And then it was followed up by 1,000% move. And because this is a wave 3 expansive wave, you could kind of see, if you were to see a 10x and the percentage move, what that would look like, theoretically, And so if you actually get like a dollar price, like if Bitcoin were to stay at 31,000 while this move plays out on Hex, you're actually looking at a $3.19 Hex.
Wow.
And the crazy thing about it is how Hex moves. So if you look at this regression chart here, you notice like in the past, we've came up and tapped this green band once here at 4 thousandths of a dollar, and we got rejected hard. And then the second time we came up and tested, we blew right through to the magenta line, and that brought us, I think that was a 10x move right there.
Right.
And then we tried again over when we hit 1.5 cents and back over right before Big Payday, and we failed. But now here we are, we're testing it again, and we're just chugging. And I think this time is kind of like a unique period, and it could be a catalyst for a move to the magenta line or beyond that line, because of everything that's kind of playing out right now. So like, if you can't already, feel the excitement in my voice, like you can see this ether, this pink dotted line moved up to its magenta line twice because it did a wave 4 and then it sold down and it did a wave 5 even higher. And what we're saying is that Hex is doing that but faster. So like you guys don't understand how quickly a dollar comes from here. And the whales can play their games on the price chart, and like if we pull this into like the 15-minute, like Hex is notorious for consolidating under these levels. Like this is just a regular up and to the right line. That's in quotes. That's a defined term now. But yeah, these like Hex can just consolidate under here and just like do, it could do this. Oh, hold on, let me get that some color there. But yeah, you could just like come up, test, bam, fart around down here, and then eventually just go. I mean, or it could just go like come, it could do a couple different things, but because of the momentum in the market, the whales are going to want to actually just kind of take this and go with it. I
Right.
feel like you might go with something like that, but we just got to use the momentum right now with the pulse chain sacrifice phase and everything.
Right.
So I'm pretty bullish on this asset in particular. I mean, the same kind of thing. Looking on the Hex ETH chart, you're looking at the same kind of performance. And then this chart's kind of interesting. This is the pie chart that we post on Twitter. It's basically the Hex Dominance Chart.
Right.
But this is actually using market data from CoinMarketCap. So it's actually just a third of what the actual market supply is. So right now we're chilling at 2% on here, which means we're around 6% overall.
Right.
Based on the actual Hex market cap data. Now, that comes into factor like how much of the other coins on CoinMarketCap are correctly listed or not, and which market caps are valid and not. So we kind of just we break it down just the top 100 on Nomics, just because that's kind of like the most valid data that we can get right now. So,
right.
But yeah, my point here is that we're chugging along, and like I was calling for a few weeks ago, we were down here.
Yeah, we were like 3% back then, right?
Yeah. I actually think the last time I drew this triangle, I actually drew it differently. I think I actually put it on top of this line, something like this. And then we had our breakthrough. But I wanted to just like note here that, with the interesting dynamic of everything, this curve here, this is going to come up here. This is going to, I mean, we could easily touch 10% soon. Like this could go right to 10% of the entire, which would actually be 30% overall. Yeah, it's crazy to think about. That'd be a 5x. That'd be a 5x. So that's kind of interesting and cool stuff. And I mean, you can look here at the end stakes coming out over the next 6 months. You can expect price to go up after big end stakes. You can expect that because once that inflation either is dispersed throughout the supply out through the market, which the bid is there, the demand is there. So these coins are going to go, if they're sold, they go quick. Yeah, there's just not a lot going on. So we should see some good price action, in October for sure, I think.
Yeah,
just based on that.
Those big stakes that are coming out, right, the tall ones, they're going to they could potentially dampen volatility once volatility does actually wake up, which is crazy because that's just how Hex fucking works. It's weird like that.
Got you. So maybe like another one of those low volatility periods where we just kind of like start to slow down, price slows down, everything kind of chills and goes sideways for a while.
Right.
And then we get an explosive move leading into an end stake or something.
Right. Maybe. I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's hard to tell because what happens if a whole bunch of whales just jump in, right? Because we've been seeing some pretty sizable stakes lately, man. Like we saw a $90 million one yesterday. 90 million for like 60 days, if I remember correctly. So,
did we lose Wasabi?
No, I'm still here. So, yeah, that chart showing the market cap, or not starting at the market cap, the percentage of the total cap of everything. So that's really interesting because if you look at basically starting from, so it started with the USD chart, which first started to go into its impulsive wave. Then you saw it happen on the Bitcoin chart, or so the Hex to Bitcoin pair. Then you saw it on the Hex to ETH pair. And then now you're seeing it on the Hex to the market cap, which is really interesting. So it's basically breaking every single chart that you could possibly pair up against Hex. And it's basically like a domino right now.
Crazy. Because it was actually on the Crypto Armageddon. So this move here, I think, was it. It's June 7th. So somewhere in here, was it this consolidation or was it this one? This might be 8.5 cents. This might be it. This might be that Crypto Armageddon thing, I think. Because what happened was it just held at 6. Remember, it was between 5.5 and 6.5.
Yeah.
When everything else was just fading. And that's when it felt like a lot of the major crypto charts kind of just reset against Hex, so to speak. And then when we finally broke out against Ethereum, it definitely felt like all charts were on track and like leading now. So I mean, obviously that makes sense because Ethereum and Bitcoin are the largest contenders. So if you can move on them, you can move on the whole market.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're seeing. I think Will's about to say something. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I'm gonna actually update that chart so we can actually take a look at it as reference.
Yeah.
So give me a sec.
Cool. I'm gonna back down on my screen here. If any of you guys have something you want to share, that'd be awesome.
I don't have anything yet. I'm just gonna update this chart real quick, and give me a second because that'll take a couple minutes.
I don't know if you guys want to talk a little bit about the SAC phase, and just kind of
let's talk
where we
about.
can look at the dollar value that's been, and look at all that. Maybe.
Yeah, I actually have those pages open. Interestingly enough, so this is gonna slow up my updating of the chart. But so far, we have 274.18 million sacrificed in ERC20 tokens as of now. And a big chunk of that is, of course, Hex at 185.8 million in USD value, approximately 1.197 billion Hex sacrificed so far. 59.6 million USD C coins sacrificed, 20.89 million DAI, and 7.386 million Tether have been sacrificed. So that's how that's breaking down so far. Everything below that is 6 figures. So not much else to talk about in terms of value down there, but pretty sizable so far. I think I had a link to figure out how much ETH had been sacked, but I don't remember what the hell I did with it. So let me just update this market cap chart. But that's where we're at with that. Hex is looking really good right now. I hope you guys are taking advantage of this dip. I unfortunately bought higher. Had some limit orders sitting out there, but it wasn't as big of a bullet as what I was buying at 155 or whatever it was the other day, 16. So this is like, really interesting stuff, right? I'm pretty sure nobody expected this kind of a dip. So I hope you guys understand what's going on. This is basically the whales playing games because they can, right? Because Hex doesn't move like this. So, a down move is typically not as deep, right? It's not that big of a trough. Let me get a reading here on this down move, because this reminds me of Big Payday. This type of move for some reason, like that's what I'm remembering. It's been 25% to the downside since the 18.6 cent high of a day and 9 hours ago, thereabouts. So on the 17th of July at 7 a.m. roundabouts. But we're already bouncing up, man. Because how low can we really go?
Yeah, it looks good, man. The chart looks good.
It's looking good. Let me just finish updating this chart. Give me a second, because I just need to pull up the file and then I can share that, just so we can talk about that, because this is really important, right? Like Hex went, Hex went from, well, you guys saw the chart. I posted it yesterday on Twitter. If you didn't see it, Hex is currently at 6.99%. of the total market cap for the top 100. Today is dropped down to 6.24%, but that's okay because we know where we were a couple days ago, right? So let me just drop this bad boy in here and pull this PowerPoint up. Now, the PowerPoint isn't done because I'm waiting until 8 o'clock to actually get the values for the day so I can actually show you guys some fresh data. But after that, we'll get it cracking with my charts for sure.
How are you, Wasabi? How are you feeling about the day 5 tomorrow, the first phase ending, and kind of like what do you think is going to happen with that, or what you're willing to divulge on that topic?
As far as that topic goes, so this is just my recommendation, like for anybody that's looking to try to maximize as much as they can through the whole pull sacrifice. So there's a lot of alpha that's being mentioned like on streams and stuff, which is good if you're looking at, let's say, the macro trends, because then you get a full picture as far as what's going. So I'm gonna say in relation to the to the whole sacrifice phase, that's alpha I'm personally not going to publicly share on stream because it's in my best interest not to.
Right.
Whether the strategy I have in mind is the most optimal one, time will tell. But I would say with the whole sacrifice phase, secrets or speculated secrets, I should say, are best to be kept secret with the intention of having a higher probability of getting more pulse tokens. So that's my take, at least with respect to pulse chain. Now, if you look at the overall move that's taking place right now, you have to also realize that even the duration of, let's say, the sacrifice phase is a short time period within the entire movements you see over on the Hex price chart. And I can pull up an example of that because I pulled up some charts I made a little while ago. The data is not quite up to date, but it still projects the same idea as far as the overall macro trend goes. So I guess after, if there's something you guys wanted to show on screen, I can also share some charts afterwards.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, because I think we're. Let's see, I'll do this here. I'll just leave a share screen window up.
So while you're doing that, I just wanted to point out real quick that the staking percentage is at, or the staked percentage is at 9.559%. That's incredible because that maintains our yield, right, above 40%, damn near above 40%. Because I think, the closer to the 9 we are, the closer to 41% we are by default. So you take into account all the emergency and stakes that we're seeing, we're definitely going to be above 40%. However, 2 is the most interesting one to me, because this is supply that's never going to be seen again. So we're damn near at 0.2% of Hex that's disappearing from the system. That shit right there is serious. And it's serious because that's less Hex that's available to be bought or sold. So price go up more, right? So we got 20 million here. Let me just do this math real quick. 49, 20 is 70. 5 plus 8 is 83, minus 1 is 2. All right, so we got 82 million sitting out there right now, according to the Uniswap pool numbers. But if you take into account, I guess the OA is probably really less, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know those numbers like that, but
I'm not Gunther, but I know that
I don't remember them because I went over with them.
Number, I just say that the OA has 75%.
He has way more than that, bro. He's got to have at least 90, 95%. I don't remember the number, but dude, that entity right there is holding the market down.
All I'm saying is he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
That guy is helping out everybody.
That's everybody's favorite Uncle Joe.
Yeah. Everybody's homies with the OA. That's what I'm trying to say.
Correct. That's a fact. That is a fact. Now let's look at these stats again just for fun. They've gone up a couple 100,000 since our last look. But again, it's just about like this right here. This is like gunpowder, man. This is some serious
Economic energy.
Yeah. Like this is
Yeah.
serious. This is serious.
1.2 billion already, huh? Dang.
Yeah, man. It's wild, bro. It's wild. I mean, sometimes I just stare at this because I really didn't think it was gonna be this much X that was gonna get sacked. Kareem called it though. He said it was definitely gonna hit 1 billion, but I didn't think I didn't think he'd think it was gonna be in day 2.
Yeah.
I bet you he didn't think that shit because I didn't even think 1 billion. So
man, those polls on Twitter sure didn't prove to be true.
Nah. So interestingly enough, we're forming another apex here, right? And Hex likes to do this a lot. And for the people, what I'll do is I'll run down on how long these Hex pumps last, so people can understand that Hex is all just one pump, right? But the sideways action is really negligible, right? So what that means is we can literally go sideways into the last 5 days of the sack phase and hit 40, 50 cents. We already hit 20 cents. What's 40 cents? Just 2x. It's nothing. So the most recent consolidation phase lasted approximately a month, right? We've never had one last that long before, actually. Before that, it was just 3 weeks. Before that, I think it was 12 days, basically, not even 2 weeks. And the one before that, about 3 weeks. Right? So as you guys can see, this was honestly an anomaly. And what was driving this primarily was probably the waiting for sack phase, right? Because Richard announced it like when all the way back here or something. Like I don't even remember when he announced it, but it was probably sometime around here. And that was a month later. People were tight already, right? I know I was ready. So it's all psychology, right? Because people in Hex always want to buy it. So if they felt that they would have to sacrifice any more Hex, they didn't want to because they had liquid Hex that they wanted to stake in the first place. You know what I mean? So they kind of had this mental block to deal with to a certain extent in terms of buying more Hex. So that's what I think drove the longer term sideways move. I don't foresee this move being long term because I think this is a unique move in the first place, just because of what's going on, right? I could be completely wrong, but I think this is a unique move because when you look at the 4-hour chart,
I agree. I mean, we just entered a new way to scale the chart.
right?
I don't know how to put that under different terms, but what I'm trying to say is that, like, at 10 cents to 20 cents, it's a 50% move, right?
Right.
For 1 to 2 cents was also a 50% move.
Correct.
So, but now you're fluctuating.
Well, actually, no. 1 to 2 is 100%. 10 to 20 is 100% too.
100%. Sorry.
It's all good.
You got what I was trying to say. 100% both ways. But the point is that you can move many more pennies now than you could before.
Right. Correct.
Because of the way the chart is scaled now.
Correct. No. I understood what you meant. You didn't even have to break it down. It made sense. But all right, maybe not to everybody out there, for sure. Because as this, like, look, if this is a log scale, right? So when you're
but when you see that level of a move, like, you're gonna see more to this move, is what I'm trying to say, for sure.
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. Because I'm gonna show exactly what you're saying. So if you look down here, right, the gaps between the lines on the grid were minuscule, not even half a cent down here, right? 0.0135 to 0.17, right? That's like 50%, right? That's what we were just talking about.
Right.
50%.
Right.
But here we got 17 to 21. That's 4. 4 out of 17, 25% move, right? 21 to 26, that's 5. 5 divided by 1, 20%. So as you see, it's just like you're saying. The higher we go, the smaller the percentage moves on the scale. But what that implies is that price moves bigger, right? Because it has to. Because it's still covering the same range. The product didn't change, the price did. Understood? So here you're going from 1 cent to seven, or sorry, from 6.5 to 7.5. So that's 1 cent. 1 divided by 6 is 18% or so, right? 18.2 to be exact, approximately. So you see what I mean? So we keep reducing. It's kind of like what we're seeing now with respect to how the pool is working for the sack phase, such that every time you get to the next scaling, right, the percentage gets a little smaller in terms of what you get, but price and the way it moves doesn't really change. So the moves are actually bigger, right? Does that make sense? Because it's a little weird, but that's what's happening. It's tornado, right? The higher you go, probably the more
It's
dangerous
interesting,
it is.
Wells. I just had a thought, like how these computer networks, so like the way stocks used to be valued, and I say used to be because mostly it's just a ticker symbol anymore, but people speculating on price of like SPACs and other, new technologies and whatnot that we don't really know how to value yet because they're just abstract thought in a lot of ways.
Right.
But to get to the root of it, stocks used to be valued by checking earnings quarterly, and you're trying to find, where a company's making good margins, how much money they're actually making, and trying to make a bet on a company. Whereas these computer networks are just logarithmic growth curves that just adopt users,
Right.
and then that makes the price chart move as a function of that the growth of users and the benefit that the users are getting from the network. So, I mean, really, these things move by, like, you wouldn't. I don't know. Is it true that you see stocks move like this? I mean, Tesla does because it's like speculative like that, or used to be, and then now it'll get dialed in more over time. Like that will become less speculative, and it won't
So
appreciate the same way.
right. So let me explain. The difference is this: stocks do move like this, right? Because they all also penny stocks scale, right? Penny stocks become dollar stocks, become $10 stocks, $20 stocks, right? The question is why. That's the question. That's what's going to define the type of move, right? And I don't really like talking stocks because I don't really give a shit about them, but I happen to have a stock list. Maybe people out there will recognize some of them, probably not. AMC, right? This went up because of a technical structure in the market, right? Not because the movie theaters opened up. Because now that the movie theaters opened up, prices went down. So clearly, it wasn't because of that. You get it?
Yeah, I mean, everything's kind of thrown out the window anymore as far as like
Right.
basing things of their valuations off of like actual earnings reports.
Right. Well, I mean, it doesn't exist anymore in the stock
Right, but
market for
what I'm
sure.
saying is that the cool thing about these computer networks is that they actually grow. Like there's no like this to me is a scam. This
Right.
AMC
No.
shit, this
Yeah.
is like a
Yes.
straight up pump
Actually,
and dump scam, like a shit coin.
actually, hold on. Let me prove it to you. Because yes, you're correct. It is a scam, and you're told it's a scam. But because people don't read, the fuck are they gonna know? Matter of fact, let's go to Apple. Let's go to the top company that every motherfucker on this planet owns. And let's go to the most recent quarterly report. Why
Man, we're
not?
really getting into the weeds now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, why the fuck not?
Why not? Why not? Here it
Why
is.
not? And I remember
Apple
the
Inc.
first time I saw this, I was like, what? Because you don't expect that shit. Let me see, where is it? Because I have to remember where this shit is. But basically, somewhere on the cover page or the second page or somewhere in the front, it tells you straight up the par value is zero. This is worth nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They're just saying that it's not currency, right? Is that what they're trying to say? Or what
No,
are they trying to say?
no, I'm telling you, it's worth nothing. The stock is worth nothing.
Oh my God, dude, no way. What do you mean?
Yeah, here we go.
What?
Yeah, I'm not kidding, bro. I don't fucking lie. Come on.
Common stock and additional pay.
Par value. So, for those that don't know what that means, Let's look it up because I don't need to lie. Our value equates to what the actual value of that instrument or product is. So stated or face value. Just like your dollar says a dollar.
Jeez.
So,
But there's still a market trading it, so.
But there's still a market trading it. But this is what you're actually buying.
Huh.
You're buying something with no value when you buy stock. Every single SEC earnings report must say this, not optional. Otherwise, you're committing fraud.
Interesting.
Very.
So yeah, buy assets, kids.
Hey, man. We're kicking facts out here. Let's check the chat for a little bit. Let's see.
Going on, everybody. Going on.
Cool.
El Hexadene, what's up, brother?
Let's see.
Crypto Gains Club, what's up, man?
What's going on, Crypto Panda? Ash, Alexandente, my homie, was good, brother. 1% crypto was good. Bree, what's going on, man? Besso, I don't know if I said your name right. It sounds like some French. My P hub at the end. You funny, bro. You funny. I'd rather making than watching. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Let's see. You want me to show that M1 chart, huh? Let's do it, baby, because that there is dangerous. So St. Louis M1. See how it got so bad they had to discontinue the real one. Oh man! All right. So the latest data point we have here is for the 21st. I'm sorry, May 1st. So this is what they got, and that number at that point in time was 19 trillion, 19.2. Ain't that some shit? This is just money printing, folks. This is just money printing. So, yeah. Have fun with that. So it's important to just, understand what's going out there, guys, because and I'm sorry if you guys are hearing the fan. I'm doing my best, but this thing is just a beast. And I'm working with 2 screens, so this thing works overtime over there. So.
No shit.
Yeah.
You're always on the computer, dog.
Yeah, and I'm always on it too. So this thing is always running like 100 miles an hour because I'm always on it. So it's a shit show. As far as
your brain works so fast, just that the computer can't keep up.
Right. Sure. So we got 216 people watching. Shout out to everybody. That's crazy. This is just a normal stream. How about that? Yeah, I don't know what it was I said or Axel said, but yep. Yes, I my desktop. Let me try, man. I actually know because of the headphones I'm using, I can't. So let me see if I can just block the noise. Hopefully that does the trick. I can still hear it, but hopefully you guys don't.
I'm not hearing it.
Okay, let me know. All right, as long as you're not hearing it, cool.
Ready. I mean, I feel like we did talk. We did title this about pulse chain, so I know we didn't want to go too deep in the weeds on that one, but
so let's just talk about what it is, right?
Yeah.
So goals, right? So one of the big goals is going to be bridging, right? Because that's going to be one of the main ways that the pulse chain, which is a brand new blockchain that's going to allow crypto to basically function frictionlessly, is basically in the works, right? And the sacrifice phase is essentially a period in time where you can essentially allocate money in hopes of maybe receiving some pulse coins in the future at some point so that you can get in first. And whatever is being sacrificed, whether it's an ERC20, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, Tether, USDC. I mean, we can assume that there's going to be an exchange set up so that there's an actual liquidity pools being set up as well. So it's not just going to be, I don't think a lot of these coins are just going to disappear as far as like just, get dumped or whatever, or just never see the market again. I think a lot of them are going to go on market maker. But we'll see. I could be completely wrong. But that's what I think is going to happen with the sacrifice coins. Don't see what else they could do with them because, I mean, let's be honest. So many shit coins, right? Or promise coins, excuse me. What can you really do with them? Right? There's only so much you can really do with a promise coin. So, but yeah, let's go over pulse chain goals because that's actually pretty important, right? Because at the end of the day, even though there's only one crypto, the promise coin space is still trying. So we're just here to help out, right? And that's basically what this is talking about. And goal number one is to enrich, right? Ethereum's value, basically. Enrich ETH users, increase Ethereum's value, same difference. So by default, because a lot of the network load is going to be split between Pulse Chain and Ethereum, and the Ethereum network, the fees are going to ultimately be reduced because there's going to be less activity on the Ethereum network. So that's number one. Check. Enrich ETH users. Let's see. Yeah. So basically, what this is saying is, sometimes it's expensive to launch something on the Pulse chain. On the ETH chain. And sometimes, people are then forced to go to inferior chains to launch projects, and then bad things happen. So Pulse chain is going to give more. It's going to basically democratize crypto even further, right? Because it's going to give people more ability to act on whatever they have in their head. So it's going to allow more projects to come into the fore. And I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be good for crypto to some degree, because, I mean, how many promised projects can you have, right? There's got to be a limit. So let the good ones enter the market, because it shouldn't just be the ones with money backing them, right? I'm pretty sure there's a ton of projects out there that just, haven't seen the light of day because it's too expensive to launch them. So what's going to ultimately happen is that the Pulse chain is going to copy the system state of Ethereum at some point. And then all of those Ethereum-based projects that were basically at a standstill because of fees will now be able to operate again or function at least respectable cost level. And that's, of course, good, because then now you can actually create some value somewhere, right, where it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to do it. So that's a good thing. Now, I can't believe I'm about to talk about this, but hey, here we go. So let me just read this verbatim. Enrich ERC20 and NFT users. The launch of Pulse Chain is the largest airdrop in history. Thousands of Ethereum-based tokens and NFTs receive their free Pulse Chain versions. This new gold rush contains the value discovery of thousands of tokens and NFTs on Pulse Chain. If you have always wanted to be a whale in a certain ERC20 or NFT, now maybe you can be. So that's actually pretty cool, right? Because this is basically letting us know. Let me see something. Yeah.
The opportunity, the kind of opportunity that is here with Pulse Chain. And obviously other people see the opportunity too. So if you needed any kind of push to jump in at some point over the sacrifice phase, I think that you kind of got it already.
Right. I mean, check this out, right? Who would have thought the creator of Hex would be the guy to essentially give all these promise coins a second start, when all we've done is berate them this whole time and they don't even know it. So it's crazy, because here we are providing opportunity, sharing the wealth, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about abundance. There's no such thing as scarcity. And here's further proof of that. Right? I mean, this is just a beautiful thing. And the bridging, I can't wait to get to that. We're gonna get to that right after this because that's really gonna be, right, the thing that everybody's been waiting for since 2010 or 11, ever since there was a second coin. Right? Like everybody's been waiting for interoperability for a decade. So I can't wait to get to that. That's gonna be cool to talk about. Easy to use, right? So we already know that this is pretty much tied in with MetaMask. You're going to be able to use anything that uses a MetaMask related address or wallet, and you don't have to do much, right? So this is just more of the same, which is cool because we can now interact with two chains, and all we'll have to do is just switch networks, which is great. So lower pulse chain fees and serve more users. So pulse chain increases the throughput of Ethereum 4x by using 3-second block times. Ethereum's average block time is around 13 seconds. Now, I think it's a little bit higher than that. I think it's really 15 and up. But, I guess on a good day, it's 13 seconds. But, yeah. This is pretty crazy stuff, man. I mean, this is the cutting edge of crypto, right? Literally cutting edge of crypto. And this is really waking the Promise Coin space up. I mean, it's gangster. It's really, it's amazing. There's never been anything like this in history, right? This is changing the game of an industry, but for the better. It's not just to take more from people. So it's a unique thing. It's a very unique thing. And now let's talk about the environmental aspect of things, which is unique here, right? By replacing proof of work miners with proof of stake validators, Pulse Chain doesn't burn, waste any energy, making it environmentally friendly, right? So what does that mean? Because we're all still running computers, right? So how does that really actually add value? Well, the thing you have to realize is that with proof of work, it actually requires a whole separate hardware system to actually conduct those hashing transactions, right? And the hash is what leads to the actual Bitcoin being minted, right? So every time a piece of hardware that mines Bitcoin is actually mining a Bitcoin, is actually doing a whole computation to mine that Bitcoin. So that's why it requires all of this heavy artillery, so to speak. So that's why this is important. We're removing the need for that by replacing it with entities that just want to, instead of waste capital, right? Because this is really waste of capital. Because all you're doing is setting up a mining operation to then just generate profit from it. But all you're doing is just using and abusing a lot of energy sources that could be better used elsewhere. Because there's better things to do. And Axis has an actual, I want you to talk about this after I'm done blabbing here, because you have an actual interesting twist on proof of work mining, which I hadn't heard before until you brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, I can just add to that a little bit quickly.
Sure.
I think proof of work has already been done, and it's working. It works. It works great for Bitcoin, and that's important for the ecosystem. And I just don't think there needs to be more proof of work coins because it gets away. I mean, it's not efficient, and it's just, we already have Bitcoin as a base layer of proof of work just as your anti-everything schmuck insurance against everything, and that'll always have its use case. And Bitcoin will see much higher prices in the next decade, and that's a shoe-in. But I just don't think that. I think that's a cost that's maybe worth taking for now until we live in a more secure world. But besides that, man, I just don't really see the need. So Pulse kind of gives you an opportunity here to bridge the gap that existed on Ethereum, so to speak, with just the scaling problem is a huge one. And then like the what you don't understand is that with Ethereum, there's a mining economy underneath of it. So that's constant like externalities that are causing stress on the price. And so, but you have all these individuals and companies that have acquired all this mining hardware over years now, and they need to see a return. And And the problem is when ETH's trying to move away from staking, or move to staking and away from proof of work, but you're stepping on the toes of the very people that is your foundation. So like they're in an interesting situation over there with Ethereum. And that's why you see like a lot of the delays and the upgrades and stuff too. I'm sure it's like very hard to manage
expectations.
something that has it's like a hydra with many heads. It's just hard to manage like that much, that many influences on the whole economy without upsetting a large segment of it. And then you're gonna see those people flee anyway when something better comes along. So to get back to Pulse, Pulse lets Ethereum not have to make those big decisions because it got to make those decisions for it. And so I think a lot of the money is going to just flow that direction, but it's not going to be one-sided. You'll see value accretion on both chains, Ethereum and on Pulse, because of this bridging and this multi-chain world we're headed toward. So there's just like untapped amount of dollars out there that could enter the space, and this just adds value to both chains. And really, let's not forget what this is really about. This is really about getting 2 hexes. That's what this is about. We're getting 2 hexes.
This is a party for Hexicans, man. Everybody else is going to get to come late. That's all. We already been partying for a whole year and a half. 19 months at this point. So, more party for us. Who the hell is calling me right now? What the fuck is this? Sorry about that, guys. Not sure if anybody heard that.
I'm interested to see more details about like what's possible on Pulse. Like, is it just literally like a system state copy, or are there people out there building cool stuff on it? That's what I'm.
As of now, I'm not. Well, okay, so let's go through the list that I have in my head. So first off, it's just going to be a copy of the system state of Ethereum, yes. Secondly, we do have folks building stuff on it. One person that I can speak about, because RH has spoken about it, is Firebun, right? He's already built the ability into some system. I can't remember the name of it. It starts with an A, that allows you to trade shares, right? That's brand new. We've never had the ability to do that before. We also have Hex Bay, right? Let's not forget about them. Those guys are still working over there. They haven't been able to get their audit done. So we got a lot going on all sides, really. So I think this is going to be bigger than we all anticipate. I mean, if you just look at the dollar value that's been sacrificed already, just on the Ethereum network alone is almost $300 million, and we're into what, day 3, going to day 4, something like that.
Yeah, we have 1 hour, or we have 1 day and like 5 hours left until the end of the first 5 days.
Oh, so we're actually in day 4. Damn, it's all been a blur. Sorry, guys. I'm all about a whole day. All right, cool.
Day 5 ends in 1 day, 4 hours, and 58 minutes.
Yep. All right.
We got 2 weeks left in the sacrifice.
Nice. That's plenty of time. I can't wait. I mean, I really think Hex.
If you're anything like me, I won't give too much away, but if you're anything like me, you're keeping a very close eye over the next 2 weeks on the sacrifice phase.
Oh, yeah.
Looking for opportunity.
Correct.
Because there will be opportunity.
Yeah,
I don't want to just force feed you, but if you dig into what I said about the Hex chart earlier and you think about where we're at with everything, I mean, be excited and be ready for opportunity to stare you in the face.
Right. I mean, there's gonna be plenty of it. I mean, look at today's dip, right? That was opportunity right there. If you ain't seen none. I mean, I didn't expect the dip this big. So I'm kind of mad because I could have waited it out. I could have waited it out. I had a whole bunch of USDC.
Dude, did Wales just admit that he FOMO'd, bro?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Hell
That's
yeah,
the first time
bro.
you've ever admitted that.
I
I don't think you've ever FOMO'd into Hex yet. You've always bought like bottoms.
yeah. Well, no. The first time I bought into the 1.5 cent top in November 1st. Then after that, I was straight pro with it. So this was definitely the weakest I've ever been, and that's because I didn't really think we were. I was buying this trend line basically. I
Yeah.
didn't think we were gonna break that, but here we are. So I was clearly wrong as shit.
Yeah,
And
well, and that's a good point. We don't want to
yeah,
lead everyone astray. There is always a bearish, possibility
oh,
to
for sure,
everything. And
for sure.
yeah,
I mean, it's
there's
interesting
always a
that it
chance we
happened
could go
now,
a little lower levels, but I mean,
right? It's
there's
interesting
certain
that it happened now. That's what
it's
I
just with
find.
the sacrifice phase that you have
Correct.
extra fuel right now, so it's just
Correct.
hard to see it. Hard to see
There's,
the bearish.
there's more people
Very
playing
bullish
games.
chart.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? It's a very bullish chart all by itself.
We got
Uh,
all kinds of questions in the
I
chat.
mean,
Sorry guys, I have been not looking at that at all. My bad.
yeah, I haven't either. I'm really sorry, guys.
I'm coming back though. I'm gonna come through here and start reading these. But go ahead, Wales.
Yeah, access if you can. Just pull up questions and we'll address them as you catch them. I don't care. And we could take turns as we talk about Hex. So just read through the chat. But yeah, like this wick is major, right? Because that's telling me we're gonna at least see that again. Because those wicks are just signs of what people are doing, right? So that means that's basically a precursor to what's to come. Because price doesn't make wicks for fun.
Yeah, dude, I see a comment here. Crypto Journeyman said, so I see a lot of new people to Hex thinking Hex might lose its steam with Pulse. I don't think so.
The hell?
No,
That's funny.
this is fuel for Hex. This is
Pulse is gonna
this is
allow
a
Hex to
fuel
take
for
off.
a lot of different coins potentially on Pulse. Like it's not just about that, but they're all gonna find,
Value.
opportunity,
So opportunity in my mind equals value, right? Because what you're doing is you're allowing an existence that was paralyzed on one system state to take life again in another system state, right? And it's just up to the participants to
Yeah,
either
Wales, there's a lot of contracts on Ethereum that couldn't run at those high gas prices, and even now they're probably expensive to run some of those functions.
probably.
So those contracts now become more useful because there's a version of them on Pulse that you can run at a cheaper rate, and then you can be flipping this stuff back between the two chains to find value on either side. But you
Correct.
can run your functions on Pulse,
Correct.
right? So
Yeah.
I mean, it's positive both ways.
Correct. Because I mean, the interesting thing is when you bridge, right, you still have to go back to the other networks. So you're still going to have to pay fees on that network, but you'll at least be able to extract value from this network, which will allow you to pay fees, right? Because that's ultimately what you want to be able to do, right? Improved game theory. This is cool. PLS, which is the ticker for the Pulse coin, has 0% inflation. Validators only earn fees, and 25% of the fees are burnt to reduce the circulating supply. So that's cool, right? Even though we're starting off with 10,000 next to the supply of Ethereum, that's going to give people that are aware of this huge airdrop opportunity, right, to create wealth that they never thought they'd be able to in their life. Now, how the hell is that? Well, let me explain. What's about to happen is that you're going to have, now let's go to numbers.com because this is cool to talk about. I've never talked about it, but this is going to be cool to talk about, right? So we're talking about 116 million, 116.7 million coins exist. And we're talking about 10,000 times those coins, right, in supply. 10,000 times. So what does that mean exactly? Look at that fucking number. Woo. This means this number goes out 12 decimal points. Million is 6 zeros, billion is 9, so that's 1.16 trillion points, right? So if you literally can't afford to jump into sack phase right now, don't worry. You'll have opportunity in the future because unless this literally starts at the floor and goes straight up, it's gonna have to go sideways for a while. And here's my reasoning as to why. We're talking about 1.16 trillion coins that are going to be in people's wallets, and they don't have to time lock them, right? These are the facts. So, what does that mean? That means we don't know what people are going to actually do with them once they get them. Now, I know what I'm going to do. I know I'm not going to be selling. I know a lot of people aren't going to be selling, but a lot of people are going to be receiving this coin that we don't know what they're going to be doing. So that adds uncertainty into the equation, right? And that's important to take into consideration, even though we know what's really going to happen after this uncertainty is removed from the market, right? And that's why it's important to understand the big picture at all times, because even if you sacked already, even if you sacked a little bit, even if you haven't sacked, excuse me, guys, I need to clear my throat.
Culture Critique says, I'm just going to stake. Yeah, that definitely is something that entered my mind too, buddy.
Yeah,
I got a lot of staked Hex, so I'm not,
I was actually thinking about staking.
I
I was thinking about staking through like day fucking 12 or something like that. Just for the hell of it.
There was people are definitely going to be accumulating more Hex even after the sacrifice phase. Mark my words.
Oh yeah, sacrifice phase is just a singular event. So after that, I feel like business as usual is going to commence. You know what I mean? That's what I think. But we'll see. But right, if we're talking about 1.167 million trillion, or sorry, thinking about T-shares there. If we're talking about 1.167 trillion coins, right, or pulse coins out there, just sitting in people's wallets, and we don't know who the majority of these people are, well, you have to assume they're probably going to dump. So that's probably going to give people that can't sacrifice anything now, i.e., putting the USD up, to accumulate USD at some point in the future, right? So that they can enter when the chain actually goes live. Then this is assuming that it's going to actually get sold, because again, we don't know. For all we know, people are going to smarten up. But I mean, that's a tall order. I don't know. We'll see.
Hex Slam says, I have 6 ETH, but for some reason I feel like $100 in ETH would be enough for an airdrop. The profits will be there. If it's 1000x, it would be enough for a good trade. Hell, even a 10x. And that's kind of like one way to look at this, is like if Pulse does make moves over like a 1-2 year horizon, then you don't have to chuck all your Hex in here. But a lot of people are, because they see that this is that big. So I kind of see both sides of this. It depends kind of on what you're willing, like how much. Like in my world, it's about how many T-shares do I have and how many do I want to have on both chains, firstly. And then if I kind of hit a target, then I'm like, okay, now this is how much extra cash I can put into Pulse. But make sure it's something. So yeah, the $100 thing totally flies with me. A lot of my buddies, I said, do $500. The ones that have just, that haven't been in Hex since like, a year ago or whatever.
Right. I mean, this is definitely opportunity, right? And that's what's crazy. I wasn't around for the first one, man, so I'm flipping ecstatic, right? Because this is the thing. This is my vision for Pulse, right? Because we know what Pulse is gonna do. Let's be honest. We're talking about the king of fundamentals.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
This is right? Crypto Goose. Just to that point, he says, "Will the whales wait until day 16 to pump their Hex price, then jump in a sack?" Right. Dude, your guess is as good as mine, dude. But dude, what you can guarantee is what the Hex price chart is telling you.
Right. That's what I'm.
So that's kind of why I went over that in the very beginning of the stream. If you didn't go see that, go back and watch that part. But the Hex price chart is your guiding light here.
Yes.
What's going on?
For sure. No mistakes here. So yeah, this is looking really good actually. It's gonna base out for a little bit, which is cool. Cause hopefully I can find some more cash and put in this bad boy. But yeah, we're talking about 1.16 trillion coins, right? And we're talking about the king of fundamentals, right? 0% inflation plus 25% of the fees that the validators are going to earn are going to actually be burnt to reduce the supply. So that means over time, that 1.167 trillion is going to become less, right? But we're here at the start. Now, what's so great about that? Well, let's take a look at what's happened before, because this is how these things work. Let's see.
Going back to the beginning of the Hex chart.
Yes, sir.
Because this guy here says, Tulo says, there will be whales that sacrifice many millions and decide to cash out a percentage on day one with a 2 to 5x profit and let the rest of the stack ride. That behavior could drop the price. Well, that sounds like an opportunity to me.
Correct.
Look
That's
at this
exactly
chart
where I'm
here.
going. That's exactly where I'm going. I'm trying to look for this dude's. All
Right.
right, Tulo. Here we go. Yeah, thank you for that comment, Tulo, because that's exactly where I'm going. Right. Fact of the matter is that people are gonna sell this coin, right? Because people are gonna be buying it once it comes out. So why wouldn't they take profit, right? It's kind of like getting into coin, right? That Coinbase Ponzi scheme that they ran in the Nasdaq, where they issued a bunch of shares and they were getting them before the IPO at like 15 cents. I think that was the most recent price, or probably the base price for these VCs, and they were dumping at $400. They made the top, literally. They literally made the top day one. So yeah, why not? And this is my point, right? We're talking about 1.167 trillion coins coming out on one day. So everybody needs to be aware of that. So that adds this potentiality into the equation, right? A potential down move from the jump, which is fine, because all that means is more for your bags if you're smart. So this is, as Axis just said, opportunity. Don't F it up like you did with X the first time, right? If you've been around long enough, you know what I'm talking about. That Eunice bias is real, right? That's his way of making whales. So you take advantage of that. That's exactly what that is. You don't play games with it. You take advantage of it. And that's what you do. And that's why we have these discussions so people understand what actions they should be taking into consideration, right? Because the reality is that unit bias is everything, right? Everybody talks about hard money, this and that, blah, 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 but they don't actually understand how markets work. Otherwise, they'd be talking about other things, like how markets trade, because that's what actually defines how value is made. But, I already got a stream on that. You guys go check that one out. Pulse Change Native Token PLS can be staked and delegated to validators that reward the delegators with the largest percentage of fees. Hope that's pretty straightforward, guys. You're going to get paid for delegating your pulse to a validator, and that's how you will earn fees if you do that. If you provide, liquidity to a liquidity pool, then you'll earn fees doing that. Now, this to me is the picture perfect. This is the sunset and the horizon for me, personally, because this is going to be how value is redistributed, right, throughout both networks, right? This is what we're talking about all the time. And this is really going to be the thing, man, that just lights the fire under the crypto space, because we're setting it, right? We're literally putting it up as we speak about it right now. Because right now it's just a promise coin space. So, if we set the tone, maintain the standard that we currently have in place with Hex, I don't see any reason why Pulse can't be as good as Hex, right? Because we have all the right people in it to start, right? We've already been doing this, a lot of us, for a year, 9 months, a year and a half, whatever the case is, right? A lot of you guys are OGs day one. You guys been holding still for a minute. So we already know what time it is. There's nothing to do here but build wealth and take profits as needed. That's literally it, right? Because at the end of the day, how else are you going to get rich if you don't have any coin? So be smart with how you actually sell your actual stash, right? You don't want to just be done with it in one foul swoop and then be left with no more profit to be made, because then you'd be a sour pickle. And we know what happens with sour pickles. Nobody eats them. So let's get into this operability and bridging. ETH can be traded on the Pulse network, and PLS can be traded on the Ethereum network. Gangsta. Bridging can also be done to other smart contract capable networks. How about that? I don't know many out there that are, you know, actually smart contract capable outside of Pulse and ETH. But I'd be interested to know if you know one access. Do you? I don't really know.
Can't hear you. What'd you say?
What other smart contract capable networks exist? I don't know.
Tons of them.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's tons of them.
Look one. Well,
But I just don't think that a lot of those have a lot of users and adoption and like programs on them. I think they're just kind of sitting, kind of like husks.
Got it. Yeah. So they're just vapor networks. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So ETH on Pulse chain. You can send ETH to the Pulse Bridge contract on ETH, which locks it and issues PETH, Pulse ETH, aka Pulse ETH, on Pulse chain at a 1-to-1 ratio. Pulse on Ethereum. You can send PLS to the ETH Bridge contract on Pulse chain, which locks it and issues ePulse, ETH Pulse, aka, on the Ethereum network at a 1-to-1 ratio. This can also work for ERC20s, meaning you can bridge them across networks, which is what this is all about, right? Now we're opening up the
I gotta
space.
address this comment here by Buffo on the beat. It says he doesn't know what PHEX is, so it's pretty
enlightened.
This is interesting. So Hex runs on Ethereum, and the creator of Hex is creating a new a copied system state of Ethereum to try to mitigate gas cost and make it a little bit faster, among some other improvements. And on that chain, all the ERC20s are getting ported over. So when we say PHEX, we're just talking about Hex on the Pulse chain. So it'll be its own market. It won't actually be on the Ethereum Hex. They'll trade independently of each other, and they'll be on two separate networks.
There you go. So since you're new, you just hit the jackpot. You might want to buy now so you can get a copy later, or you can just wait till the chain actually launches and get them at cost. Up to you, but
so just like a quick strategy for this, like if you wanted to get PHEX, one of the best ways to get it is to buy Hex right now before the snapshot date, which hasn't been announced, but getting Hex and accumulating a position now ahead of that is probably a good decision. And you'll have both coins on both chains.
There you go. I'm still battling how much I want to actually sacrifice out of my liquid bag. Yeah, because I want to keep a portion of EHEX for sure. I don't want to give it up.
My number has changed, and it has changed a lot.
Exactly. Exactly.
A lot of that is because a lot of the good information has been leaking out about what people are doing for different strategies, and
that is true.
So there's just a lot of upside here, no matter kind of where you get in at. But it's hard to pick which one you want to take.
Yeah,
I keep changing how much I want to put down because I keep thinking about how can I get more pulse. That's my question I'm asking myself. How can I get more pulse?
Right.
And
it's interesting. I'm a real big Hex fan. I'm not really like lauded by Pulse like most people are. Like it's cool, great opportunity and all that. But I want more Hex, man. I'm not really like 100% focused on Pulse.
Right, which brings me to my next point, which is basically like if I want more Pulse, but I can get twice as much Hex, and those are my two options, and I'm willing to hold maybe one more than the other. Like, then maybe that,
That's exactly
what I want more Pulse. Maybe, there's a lot of Pulse coins coming out right away.
Right, and so, that's my thinking. Right?
But the Hex supply situation is set.
Yeah.
The situation is set.
Yes.
From one perspective is that the amount of liquid coins available on the liquidity pools or available at higher prices when people are willing to sell. Those will stay the same on Ethereum, but you're duplicating the coins on the other chain, so you might see some volatility between the two chains. But man, I don't know how to say that because I can't predict the future, but I just have a tendency to think that Hex is still Hex, and it's very hard for me to part with it because it's
Right.
our, a lot of my stuff comes down to, do I want to, is my staking performance going to outperform my entry point on Pulse?
Right.
That's a big question I'm asking myself, and over what time frame, so.
Yeah, and we don't
No, there's
want
a lot
that.
of things that I'm personally, at this point, I'm probably like a Richard Hart maximalist right now in my crypto journey.
Crypto journey.
But but I still love Bitcoin and I mine it, and I love Ethereum. I mine that. So I mean, I like all those. Those top three cryptos are pretty good, and so yeah, I'm not a yeah. I think that just the opportunity isn't in those other ones. Even if you look at the Bitcoin and ETH charts right now, they tried to round out here, and they're struggling to get it up, and it's
Pretty
painful to
much.
watch, man. It's like,
It is.
just
It is.
what we need is like a rubber band. We need to fall quickly and fast and hard, and then like a rubber band just explode back out. But the problem is we're gonna chunk around, and the faster we can go down, the faster we can go up on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think that's what people got to realize.
Yes.
Problem is you have so many new market participants that are confused, and every little rally they dump it. Then you got traders jumping into buy because they think this is the bounce, and then they get wrecked. It's a mess on the chart right now. I don't like looking at those other two right now.
I mean, it is what it is, man. And the biggest thing, that we can say really for just a general comment type situation is just that is, it's very basic market functionality, right? When something goes down in this type of scenario where there's something with kind of constant demand on certain prices, because Bitcoin at 10K is going to generate some serious demand. 15K, whatever that low price is going to generate serious demand, right? No matter what it is. And that's just what it is. Um, so understanding that, right, it's exactly as you say. The quicker the price goes lower, the quicker it's going to have to go up because it has to make up for that down move. That down move can't just be there, right? It literally just can't exist just because you put it there. It just doesn't work that way. Price has to be at a certain value because markets move in that way. Like they're not just gonna uh, like a market isn't gonna be in a disequilibrious state just because. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's gonna actually try to rectify itself over time. Is going to actually try to be not out of value, right? Like it's trying to be where it's supposed to be, interestingly enough. And that's a function of the people operating within the network, right? And this is why Hex is such a crazy opportunity because where else are you going to find this kind of view? Where else are you going to find this kind of community? Where else are you going to find so many things that Hex brings to the table? And we have a 41.7% APY again, above 40%. I'm actually updating my charts as we speak.
Nice.
Yeah, gotta get these bad boys.
Do you guys have any interest learning about comparing the Bitcoin economy to the price chart and trying to like predict the based on actual data, or is that something that's not interesting?
What do you mean?
I was gonna just show them that BitInfo charts website, maybe just briefly, because
Yeah, yeah.
this Ethereum is like basically like the Bitcoin and Ethereum run ups since last like fall.
Where's your screen, bro?
Yeah, okay. Let's see here. What's I gonna do here?
Like an old man.
BitInfo charts. BitInfo charts. All right.
Infoshops.com. Yeah, these shots are gonna be freaking gangster because Hex has ripped up a whole lot since
I'm
you guys
excited to
last
see
seen
these.
my metrics. So they're gonna be fucking out of.
All right, I'm sharing. This is just kind of like a cool little website that any OG knows.
Yeah.
Got a good kind of a good place to come to find data on the top blockchains. I like to compare. This is an interesting thing that's going on with Bitcoin right now. So there was like this thing that you guys heard probably about China shutting down mining equipment, and you can actually physically see it in the chart here. The entire network has been halved over the last from basically from May until now. We basically halved the entire compute power of the network. Wow. Which has made mining very profitable again for anybody that's still mining. So like your revenue stream doubled.
Right.
This is bullish.
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. That's right.
It's super bullish, man. So what it's saying is like it's a huge external stress taken off the price, because like there's just less miners that need to dump.
Right.
See here, it'll actually average price per day. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of interesting. Like over time, you can see the price of Bitcoin here on the dotted line where my cursor is. Mm-hmm. This was the 20K top, I'm pretty sure, in end of 2017, 2018. If you zoom in here, you can watch a relationship between the hash rate and where the network grows and the price.
Right. So that lag is interesting, right? And in the early days, the network was growing faster than the price.
Right. So, but if the price goes above the network hash rate, you start to have problems. And look there was a delayed, huge crash in hash rate. We just came up and met it. So like 60K. So this is what this means here, where this price is above hash rate. It meant like, little Johnny down the street can plug in a miner in his mom's basement, paying 20 cents per kilowatt hour and still make money doing it. So that's the problem, is like the efficient miners need to increase their hash rate first, because then it's less external stress on price.
Right.
And then you can have your next run up in price, like we had here, but it's not going to happen for a while. But this is good. This is super bullish that we lost half the network that quickly, because if it stays down here and slowly chugs back for like 6 months, maybe, or not even, maybe like 3-4 months, we could see, price to start to like go sideways and like move way higher, but it could be interesting to see. But yeah, you can compare like this chart here. It's Bitcoin average price over the hash rate, or you can do like the same thing with Ethereum, which for comparison's sake, we can look at that quick.
It's funny how you make it sound like a major effort.
It's interesting, right? Because look here you go. Ethereum taps this level. It was the top. And then somehow the miners stayed profitable for a long time. And then there was the capitulation like a whole year later.
It's crazy because mining ETH was very profitable for a long time, and I didn't.
Dude, this run up here this year to 4K for Ethereum miners was crazy. It was crazy. People were making money hand over fist. I don't want to say the name of the guy, but the person that purchased my data center was making ungodly amounts of money per day, like a Bitcoin a day. Wow. Like it was crazy.
That is a lot of money.
Pretty insane.
Yeah,
but yeah, so you had the price spike through and pierce through the hash rate. Look at that, signaled the end. So you can actually come back to this chart and find a lot of, here we had like a similar thing here. It's just fun to know that. And so like I'd like to try to find a way to do a similar comparison with Hex and stuff. So that's where I come with like this is your inflation here, the staking chart. So I mean, I'm trying to find ways to creatively display this in a way that is similar to this type of relationship as a function of the supply and demand and stuff. So I'm trying to build up these charts in the background, but we'll see what comes of it. But got some cool charts planned coming down the pipe.
Nice.
Hex looks good. It's just again, it's doing what we were saying earlier. It's just kind of gonna try again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's pumping, man. I mean it's pumping. It's doing what it's supposed to do, because again, what we saw today was really an anomaly. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean I'm loving it. So all right, I'll give you back the screen.
Oh no, all good.
I'm good. What else can we talk about here? Let's go through some
So let's talk about interoperability, man, because that's really, really important. And I feel like people really don't talk about it enough because it's really
Yeah. I mean, look at all of the world's banks have to talk to each other to get money to flow
right,
across them.
right.
But there's all these like hang-ups and spots where it's just harder to do international business because there's just a
Yes.
lot of checks and balances and stuff, and things
Oh
take
yeah.
time.
It's a pain in the ass, dude. You have
But
no idea.
interoperable blockchains is like taking that and just fusing all these networks together so they can the rate of information flow between from a fiscal perspective never been seen before. So
Right.
what does that imply? It implies you can make investment decisions and financial decisions way faster, which means the markets are going to be, in quotes, truer. They're going to be truer markets because there's going to be more signal happening and being executed on immediately. So then that just leads to a more reflexive system.
Correct.
I mean, this is good for Ethereum. This is good for Pulse. This is good for all crypto. Because
It's good for the
if
whole
when as
space.
soon as Cardano's smart contracts come out, we'll have them interoperable with Pulse too.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be a celebration for everybody because we've all been waiting for a long time for that one, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a good one. I can't wait personally. I know I'm gonna pop some champagne because I never saw it coming. Oh my god, so easy. Anyway, yeah. So hopefully them guys get their shit together so we can get this thing cracking, right? Because we got a lot of 8-0s out here, and value is found in abundance, not in scarcity. So the more the merrier, they say.
Yeah, these wicks
Business is
here on this
definitely
chart,
true.
on this
Yep.
4-hour chart, super bullish. A lot of support here. A lot of support here.
Big
Look
time,
at last
man.
time we had one of these. I gotta see my timer here. How does that happen where it doesn't like pull up the timer sometimes? I hate that.
That is weird. Should pull it up.
But anyway, so yeah, you see these wicks here.
Right.
Looking good.
Very
Here
good.
was one. Here was one.
Wicks are
Here was a
everything,
few.
bro. Wicks are everything because they telling you where the price is gonna go. I remember when I first saw Hex, man. You want to know what motivated me to buy? I'll tell you. I was watching this damn hit BTC chart. I didn't understand that it wasn't the right one, but there was a wick on that motherfucker, and I didn't know better, so I acted on it, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad I
You
did.
did too, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad I did because nobody expected this, right? So
It's crazy.
yeah, it's wild crazy, man. It's wild crazy.
I remember when I drew this. The chart that I drew for whales. I'll recreate it right now if I can on stream.
Huh?
But,
Yeah, that chart was.
This was the chart that I wish I could find the tweet. It was back in January, or no, it was January, right?
That was a long time
I
ago.
think I used the fib. It was basically before Gerardo made Look into Hex. I did a similar fib thing. Which one is it? Shit, I'm so bad at
We're
this.
actually up a little bit. Nice. I can't wait to show this.
Remember which one? Oh, here we go. Fib channel.
Hold on, let's see.
Pretty sure I just drew this channel. Didn't I?
Nah, you didn't have any channels on there, bro. The chart that you had was just a comparison between what was it? Ethereum, and Bitcoin and Hex, and they all just look similar to me, like from the start.
That one.
That's the one that got me.
Got you.
That's the one that made me do all these charts.
Can you just extend this out? I don't even know. Yes, you can. That's crazy. Cool.
Yeah.
Check this out. Like, we're just starting to break into the green band. Like, look, this is awesome. The last time I wish I could just do two things at once here, but let's put that off to the side for a second. I think, how did I do this last time? I did like a little mini one, like from here to here. I think. Yeah, I did this point. That's how it looked, I think. Did I just do that? I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting confused in myself, but
that looks right.
Yeah.
That
looks
right.
good. I mean, it looks good, man. We're just like I was gonna show you what this looked like at a smaller scale. So like when this was just down here, Like, look how we exploded out the top on the gray here. We just went out and touched the 2.618. If you just let things happen again here, your 2.618 is up here at that same 30-cent call we've been calling for. So
Right.
we're just trying to chew through these levels, and then it's bam, 50
Yeah,
cents.
I mean, once
Bam,
we get to 30 cents, we're
30
gonna be
cents.
crazy because we already hit 20.
Yeah. And by the way,
So
this is again the expansion wave, so there could even be more overperformance. So
right.
I don't think we're going to $4,000, but
Well,
who knows?
not now,
Who knows?
but yeah, eventually gonna get there. That's for
Yeah, man, this chart sucks, bro. Somebody needs to learn how to short this thing because it's just going up too
sure.
fast.
Man, I can't wait for people to short it. Oh my god, it's gonna be so much fun to watch. Honestly, like tons of fun.
Oh, here's a cool chart that I did the other day. Um, Basically, it's just showing you the parabola we're in. You got your baselines or the thicker lines, and then the dashed lines are the kind of like I call them like the lines of force or lines of influence. It's just
Right.
like the momentum of the market moving up. Whereas like the harder lines are more like more solid, influential lines. What the hardest line is this flat line here. It's just a straight up technical line. So if we did get super bearish and like Richard Hart died tomorrow and everything failed,
Mhm.
this would fall to 3 cents to 4 cents. I'm just not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying you
Right,
got to be
right.
realistic here. Anything can happen in this
Well, it's
world.
not
So.
about being realistic. It's just about maintaining all options open, right?
The
Because
realistic thing is that this thing's going to go a lot higher
right,
and try to break these bands up here. So pretty cool. I don't know. It's a pretty cool little. These levels are not that far away when you try to like when you just like create bars. Like imagine like this candle is this candle, and you just saw like really boring price action for a while. That still puts us at 40 cents. By September.
right. This
So
is way higher than we were at. So
I don't know. Just get your friends in. Do that at
pretty
least.
much, because
So.
they're gonna like that interest. That's for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't been looking I gotta look back up here at what you guys been talking about.
No worries.
Pulse, man. 271 mil. Incredible.
Wow, yeah. I haven't even looked at the. Let me look at the data because I'm still trying to finish up these charts.
Yeah, man. I
I'm on the
can't wait to
last
see
one.
those charts, man. Those are
Oh,
some
they're
good
gonna
charts.
be. Yeah, they're gonna be sick, bro.
X will be $300 plus in 2023. Possible. Definitely possible. Here, I got a chart for you.
Yeah, I expect a big move in
I've been
Hex.
showing you all my charts in one stream. I don't know if I should keep doing all this,
Can't let them have all the goods.
but I mean, this is pretty crazy projection here. Get rid of this. Imagine Hex just doesn't slow down and the correlation between the share rate and the Hex price stays the same and just consistently. You just saw linear growth for a while, like linear exponential, but like in a linear way like this over this time period, which basically gets us to April 2022. So basically a little less than a year. You could easily see dollar prices, you know, again, with the line of influence here, you got this dotted line. That's going to be
Right.
like a momentum. Like until you break, it's going to take a lot of force to bring us like something like this, where you go way high to like something like a $200, $300 hex, to crash back down through to break this red exponential curve that's being created.
Right. I mean, it's gonna be crazy once we do get there because there's a lot of us. So
I mean, when you're getting up into like these ranges up in here, but I mean, this is all projections, so not financial advice. This could all go to zero, but
yeah, it could all
seriously,
go
though,
to
check
zero.
this out. Like this thing's gonna take a lot of force push it down. That there just isn't enough coins for sale to force it down for long enough to make it meaningful.
Yeah, so what's funny? Interesting enough, Hex Machina asked early on in the stream if about liquidity, and I kind of brushed it off. But people got to understand, no other market out there just has millions of coins just sitting out there. So yeah, this is gonna dry up, guys. So that's why you got to get yours now. You don't wait. You literally got to get yours now. Like that's not really optional. That's what you got to do. So get your mind right, understand what's going on, and do not rest on your laurels because the market doesn't care. The market is going to do what it's going to do, and that's just going to be that. So, you know, you of course make your own decisions, but understand what's going on, and that's my point, because that's very important. You don't want to get caught slipping. You don't want to let opportunity lie, and you let it go, and all that fun stuff. So, wow, these correlations are just crazy, bro. I'm on the last chart right now. I can't wait to get to this. Oh my god.
Awesome.
Like, talk about strengthening.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's cool. That's good.
Yeah.
That's music to my ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Nah.
I mean, that's how excited I am. I'm sorry, Jesus. It's crazy because what we want to see, like, for correlation to break down and then come back up. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, here's the dollar. It's not that far away.
Right.
If
Right.
the correlation to the T-share price is going, here, let's pull that up. Can I pull that up on here? Oh shit, I don't know. Where's the T-share price at GraphX.rocks?
Yes, graphics.rocks.
I think it started at 60 cents. I just want to know the percent move it is. Try to figure. Like how? What am I trying to say? How high? Like, as long as the correlation strengthens, like what I'm trying to say is that the T-share price is up X% from the beginning, which was like 60 cents. And then it
Yeah.
went, and then so you divide that by, but let's just say it was $1 because even who bought it at 60 cents? So it's up 2,700 for it, 2,700 X.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's just
it's crazy, right?
so like. But my point is that like what could it do from here? Could it do another 2,700 X?
Sure can. Bitcoin's done 6.5 million, and it has
$7.29
no
million
reason.
T-share, 1-to-1 correlated with.
Sure can.
What's Hex up right now?
So let's remember that this is a mining. This is a piece of mining equipment, essentially, right? So why not? Right?
What's 132,000%? Is that 1132X? I don't know.
You have entities that are mining Bitcoin, like actual companies and shit. So yeah, this could definitely hit 6 figures for a T-shirt. There's no doubt about it.
The price is going to get insane. Like
Yeah.
eventually, T-share is going to snap, and T-share is going to go so fast in dollar terms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not even going to be talked about anymore, really. It'll just be a thing of legend.
So this is something that produces economic value. People have to understand that because that's very important. This is unlike anything else because there is no overhead here. You buy it, you stake it, and you make money. That's it, right? So you're removing all the friction of having to have overhead, maintenance costs, maintenance repair, like equipment repair, and all this other stuff. Like you don't need to deal with all of that here. You're just buying Hex and staking it. That's it. So it's a very, very groundbreaking thing. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, all right, it's crazy. It's just crazy. All right, let's get into this data one last time before I actually get into the charts. And we are good to go on that front. Let me pull up this thing here. And sorry, guys, in the chat, but, getting this data right keeps us busy over here. So far.
Lost him. Gonna have to end the show right now. I'm just kidding.
How I refreshed the wrong browser. Sorry, guys.
I was just like, oh, rug pulled.
yeah. Rug pulled my damn self again.
Damn.
So 284.5 million ERC20 sacrificed so far in USD value. Wow, 1.2 billion, 1.2075 billion hex. This is crazy. 195 million USD value currently on its way to 196. 59.9 million USDC. 20.9 million DAI and 7.4 million USDT. So sacrifice phase is going just long. We don't even know how many ETH has been sacrificed. That number has been as high as 5-10 million at certain points. So yeah, let's get into these charts here. Let's get it cracking and wrap this bad boy up. So disclaimer, the information displayed in this broadcast is known to cause increased amounts of FOMO. Whales only and axes are not responsible for any losses you may accrue for not understanding the math, man. That's your fault. Do the math and don't be this guy.
Or ask questions. If you don't know what you're doing, ask questions.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because, like, by the way, Hex
doing
community is awesome. Well, they really will help you out.
Correct. 100,000%.
Right, chat? We'll help them out.
We took our time right in the middle of the stream to help somebody out. So, for sure, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Just make sure you're not one of these guys. Because this is real.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked. Yeah, so let's talk about an economy. I always like to start with that. As always, an economy is something that produces value, right? Otherwise, what are you exchanging what you have a value for, right? So in order to receive value as a business, you essentially have to provide value. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to give you money. So in essence, the private sector is the value creation nexus of any economy, whereas the public sector is there to sustain a quality of life for the residents within that civilization, right? Or that corporate town or whatever you want to call it. But that's how that works, right? So what happens is that once the public sector gets so big, it actually takes away from the private sector and it takes jobs and just makes things inferior in terms of living standards. And this is what we see in socialistic economies and communistic economies and economies that have oligarchies and stuff like that, right? When the public sector is just taking and taking and taking, well, the private sector cannot add value because it becomes more expensive for it to operate because it's just taking and taking and taking. And that's just how it works. So be mindful of the public sector. Make sure you keep them in check because they're there to work for you. It's not the other way around. And we're going to get into the market cap dominance for the top 100, courtesy of nomics.com. And what's important to note here is that Hex is 19 months old, and it's 3.42% of the whole pie. Because, again, this is market cap, and it's all a scam, right? So let's keep it moving. 3.4% as a 713 versus 711, and it just jumps up, right, the following day to 5% at around 8-10 hours, 2010 in military time. And the newest version of the chart as of tonight at 20-25 hours, 6.28% versus the rect at 93.2. Oh man, these freaking losers.
Yeah, the whole rect thing is going to become really apparent over the next
for sure.
Not too long.
For
it's going to be nice.
For sure. I mean, so just, I'm going to keep it like this because this is a much better representation because this is the promise coin space, right? And this is the crypto space. So we're going to keep it like that and we're going to keep it moving. So now we have the first 581 days, and what we're comparing on this chart is the price activity between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Hex with respect to T-shares in the first 581 days, which is pretty cool. Because what you're seeing in this chart is that Hex has outperformed everything, right? And as far as everything, I mean top two, because they're the ones that matter. Because they're the ones that have been around the longest and are the most coveted, so to speak. So you got Bitcoin down here at 941 on its index, 581 days in, whereas the ETH index is at 1598 at the same time frame, where the Hex index is at 68,616 on its index, and the T-shares are down at 126,583 rounding up. I mean, this is just crazy, man. This is crazy. Crazy as fuck. So That's what's going on
Huge
here.
outperformance.
Yeah.
Huge.
And again, it's about this trend line, right? This trend line is defining the return nature of Hex, and it's staying true to form. Staying true to form. So this is a great stat. Thanks,
Has
though, Tony.
has that trend line stayed the same, or is it adjusted by a degree or two?
It's gonna adjust because price is gonna lift.
I mean,
it
I'm
up.
just saying, since we started like back in January, how much has it adjusted? Have you ever went and measured that? Like,
Nah, I haven't. I haven't.
I mean,
But
it's
I'll
still
pull up.
violently more than the other one, but
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be because it has to be.
it's very fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool.
So check this out. This is a nice stat. Thanks, Mo Tony, for this stat. Past 60 days for the T-shirt rate started at 17,911 a day. Oh, sorry. Uh, 17,712 on 518. Then we jumped up 200 about to 17,111.9. And then today we're at 18,000, which is about almost 300 plus. And that's a pretty big jump in 30 days from where we were, right? Because we just went 200 and now we're almost at 3. So it's interesting to note that, because what happens if that gap keeps that spread keeps widening out, right? That means that price is going to keep ripping even faster, and that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the value creation that happens in Hex, right? Because it happens every day. It doesn't happen just sometimes. So it's important to remember that, because it's all about the value creation. Because that's why people buy Hex, right? It's an economic instrument. They're buying Hex to make money. So let's remember that. And thanks again, Melton. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this is just phenomenal, right? And this is just design of Hex return stream. So let's just keep that in mind. That trend line is always there. So this is the post-big payday chart. We're 243 days post-big payday. And we're just crushing the competition, man. Hex is at 2,869, 70 on its index. And this is on a dip. So I'm guessing it hit 3,000 at some point. First halving is at 714. So we're outpacing it by 300%, which is crazy. That's a 2x basically, or 3x. No, because this is two. No, yeah, damn, that's a 3x. Crazy. Wow. Versus the
Sensei,
second
those are
halving.
your comments good here. It's crazy because as the price of T shares go up, so does the price to acquire Hex needed to buy the T shares. So that's it's compounding against you getting T shares. Like,
Right.
it's an exponential function. So the T shares do get very expensive quickly, and then it's just another each denomination is just another epoch that we move up. So that's why stake that stuff for a long time. If you're staking, because those T shares, man, wow. All right.
Crazy, man. I mean, look at this. This is all we're gonna see in Hex, right? Up and to the right, literally. And we got a question in the chat, and I'm gonna address it because we did talk about liquidity earlier, but I'm not gonna bring up the name because it's just not important. But the question goes, what does it mean that liquidity is lower in Hex? And it's actually not lower, because if you look at the way the market is structured for Hex, oops, wrong browser again. Actually, we'll get back to that. Let's get through these charts first. And we'll save that for last. T-shares of Bitcoin, 8.66%. And again, this is just phenomenal because we were stuck at 1%, 0.5% for a long time. And here we are, 40x higher or whatever it is, right? Like, it's just crazy. Because we were at 0.5%. So 16x. Yeah, that's what it is, 16x. So that's
Oh
crazy.
yeah. I don't know if it was last time we streamed, but we surpassed one T-shirts more than one ETH. I think we did. I think it did last time, but I can't remember.
No, I think we were close.
Right. So,
Or maybe
anyways,
we were
so
above. I don't remember.
that was a goal. Kareem set that goal.
Yeah. And here we are at 145% on a pullback, man. On a pullback. This is crazy. This is crazy.
So if you guys don't think T-shares can't hit 1 BTC soonish,
Yeah,
it's only got to do a 10x relatively.
for sure. And what's up, Stylist? Yeah, if you just getting here now, for sure rewind because we went over a whole lot. Damn it, I forgot to
we
update
have
this chart. We'll come back to
a
that
lot.
one. Let's talk about this chart in the meanwhile. This is crazy, right? Because this is Hex looking for that value as always, man. And Hex, it doesn't care. It's gonna find that value, man. And it's just what it does, man, up and to the right. And no matter what you say, do, feel, whatever, this is just what it's going to continuously do because it's designed to do so. And that's what it's all about. It's not about anything else. I mean, numbers go up, store value, create a peer currency, right? Like that's what this is all about. Um,
Dude, Vinay, dude, you're right about. So, I mean, the intrinsic value of a stock note is zero, but you're making a bet on the company, or like in the
right,
case of X, you're actually buying something of value in the sense that it produces a yield. So it's like a guaranteed source. It's like a natural spring. If you're a human, you need to drink water. You can find a natural spring. You have all the water you're gonna need as long as you can go there to get it, right? So
correct.
if that's the yield, is the Hex T share yielding you something, there's already value inherent there. So, and there's people profiting off that system. So
Yeah, there's nothing
the
to believe in
fountain.
here, basically.
Yeah, I mean, so there's actual value there is what that's a differentiator. So
Right.
you can't put Hex at a value of zero because it produces something.
Correct. Correct. And that something is a T share, right? That T share has an economic yield, and that economic yield is called the payout per T share, and that's why this orange line is showing. It's showing us the payout per T share, and that payout per T share is at a current cumulative sum, meaning all the T shares or all the payouts per T share that have been paid out to one T share since inception are now standing at 2,378 hex, right? So there's nothing to believe in here. This is what the system does. That's why I went and showed the par value of a stock, meaning its actual value is zero. So when you're buying a stock, you're hoping to benefit from the work of others, literally. That's why they're defined as securities. And Hex is not, because there's no people here. You're just interacting with the contract, and that's it. It's code, math, and a contract. That's it. So thanks for the super chat, $5 super chat, brother, and I hope we answered your question. But again, right, the Hex index is at 68,616, and it's just trying to find that value. It's always going to chase it. Prices is always going to go up. The scales are always going to change, and that's just what it's going to be. And we're going to go back to this one. So here we have a 14. So this is crazy, right? So the cost of a T-shirt today is $2,754.35, and 10,000 Hex costs approximately $1,491 right now with 71 cents. Giving us a T-shirt rate of 18,464 as a leading indicator because we're currently at 18,000. What did Tony show earlier?
200 something.
Yeah, we're close to 18,000. Here we go, 265, which is crazy. We're just at 250 like yesterday. So this is crazy. We're moving along super fast.
Yeah, especially if your Hex is denominated a dollar unit or a $10 unit, then those
Right.
200, 300 point moves over a month, as that function's moving up and the Hex price moving up, it's just crazy to think about how
Correct.
priced out you get, how quickly.
Correct. And I mean, the APY, right? The APY is separate from the system because it's a function of the staking percentage, and we'll get to that. But it's currently at 41.7, which is outstanding. You can't find that anywhere. You can't even synthesize that yield. Period.
Yeah, that's the best yield that you could find in crypto right now. I'm pretty sure that's a for sure fire bet.
Anywhere. Not just crypto.
Shit, dude.
Anywhere.
Thank you so much for that, dude. That's awesome.
Whoa. Crazy.
Homo duo. Yeah.
Thanks,
That is pretty
Extraordinary
much,
Crypto. Appreciate the $100 super
dude. If
chat,
you
man.
can't FOMO on some shit that I spew, then but you will FOMO on the chart.
For sure. We don't even gotta say nothing. Just look at the chart. That's it. That's it. All right, let's keep it going, baby. Thanks again for the super chat, Extraordinary Crypto. We appreciate that, man. My man Kareem is in the chat. What's up, Kareem? Hope you're doing well, brother. Tia shares are in acceleration mode for sure. For sure. They are not playing games, and we're gonna see that once we get to the expiring shares chart. So right now, the payout per T-share sum index is giving us a current reading of 215,621 or 622 rounding up. And if you want on the percentage return of this, you just subtract 100 here, and that's 215,521%. It's insane.
That's 12 years old.
Go ahead, brother. Can't hear you.
Oh, it's all good. Sorry, I'm back.
No worries. Payout per T-share index at 573. And this is just stating that the payout per T-share, the system has increased its payout per T-share 5x since inception. Daily payout index is currently standing at 18,688. Now you go show me an index that has grown that much and consistently stays there over time. I'll wait. Because you know there isn't one. All right. Why does this chart look like this? Fuck. All right. Must be because of this over here. So this looks weird to me. So the daily payout is currently at 69,270,000. Now, payout per T-share is again above 6, and we've been maintaining this high T-share payout per T-share rate for the past few days because of all the emergency end stakes we've been seeing in the system. Check out Hodl Dog's YouTube channel for the specifics on those metrics because he always covers them in great detail. But this is just crazy because I didn't think the SAC phase would do this, but here we are. Right? Again, this is a function of people trying to get out and sacrifice whatever they got for this post launch. So, because again, we have to look at the total share count. Like it stays pretty steady, right? 10.959 trillion trillion shares. So, the system is just doing what it's supposed to do. And if you're holding still, you're getting paid. So, when you're getting paid a handsome sum. So, hard to be mad at how the system works. So now we're going to get into the expiring shares chart. And this is, again, going to detail how this T-share rate is accelerating, right? So we're looking at July 10th, and it's showing us almost 47%. Then we drop the 11th, right? So 46, maybe 45. Back up on the 13th. Then we take a nice little drop, right, to 42% as of minutes ago when I updated this chart. And we were seeing an increase here in August. We're seeing an increase in September. We're seeing an increase in October. So things are getting interesting.
Wales, I just had an idea.
What's up?
As Hex price pumps, it forces people to capitulate their stakes.
That too.
And I guess that's a function that I never really considered from that perspective in the sense that it's a capitulation. But what that does is it gets them out of the market earlier so they're not there later.
Right.
It just seems like a trend here when we're hitting, because like Hex likes to hit all these all-time highs so quickly now. It seems like it's beneficial for the stakers, and it's beneficial for pretty much everybody because they're just exiting.
Right.
Because those guys that are EESing aren't here for the long haul anyway, I don't think.
Nah, probably not.
So
probably not. So it's probably just a price.
By the way, chat,
right.
I can't see the chat, so sorry. My computer froze. That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Well, we're almost gonna wrap this up. We're just gonna finish these charts and get up out of here. Thanks for the $5 super chat, brother. Vinay Popat again blessed us with a super chat. He says, "Thanks, fam. Keep up the great work. Love the detail on explanation." You're welcome, brother. And yeah, Kareem, you nailed it. Total T-shares count in the pool is starting to go deflationary faster since cost per T-share is getting way higher.
Up there
for sure.
Those guys with a lot of Ethereum used to be able to buy tons of shares. Now one Ethereum isn't even getting them a full share now.
Nope.
So basically, we're pricing out the ETH whales from the T-share angle, which is it's important because
Correct.
Richard wanted to create a new system with new whales, and the only way you were going to do it was with a share system or something that could outpace the big Mac daddies of crypto, you know. And this is able to do it because of this stuff. So
correct.
Beat a dead horse.
Correct. Well, I mean, it's a dead horse that needs to be beat, right? So yeah, man. It's a beautiful thing to see, and we're covering ground, bro. And that's what it's about. It's just about maintaining that value, and that value just being received, right, and respected, because it's there to be had, and the market is always gonna find it, and that's what we're showing right here. So these are the all-time Hex versus ETH and Hex versus Bitcoin correlation chart, and I talk about these at the same time. So try to keep up. If there are any questions, please let me know. So first things first, we have Hex on the x-axis, and we have Bitcoin and Ethereum on the y-axis. And the first thing to note is how the Hex returns are primarily on the right side of the zero axis, which is letting us know that Hex is positively skewed, whereas Ethereum and Bitcoin are spread out all over the place. Right now, the important thing to note is that this is an XY plot. So what's being plotted is the returns for Bitcoin and Ethereum on the y-axis, which is why we can say that the returns are scattered and not positively skewed, whereas the returns for Hex are plotted on the x-axis, and we can clearly see that they're positively skewed and not scattered, which is key. For any investor that's a professional, they're going to look for this. This is what they care about. Is my money safe here? Because I got millions of billions of that shit, so I care. I don't want to be in some speculative bullshit that's going to do all this. So they're going to look for the right one. Trust me. There's a reason that crypto market cap is still at about $1.5 trillion. Don't worry. They're coming. Rolling correlations for the dollar cost of a T-share versus the dollar cost of Hex. 55
this is one of my favorite charts.
Yes, sir. 55-day correlation, 99.97. Now, I want you guys to look, and this shit is going to be hard to see, but right here, the 34-day correlation and the 21-day correlations were breaking down for a little bit, and boom, on this pump, correlation came right back up, right back to almost 100%. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Statistically, this is not normal. This is crazy. This has been since what? April 23rd. It's almost 3 months. That's crazy. 90 days straight. All right. So the Hex dollar cost, payout per T-share in dollar terms, and the adjusted Hex value, which is the sum of Hex and the payout per T-share in dollar terms, along with the exponential line, which is essentially mimicking the random green line, or the random line that you see on the chart that Richard typically posts. So currently we're at 14.91 cents. And the payout per T-share today with respect to 6.32 Hex and this current price is at 94 cents, giving us an adjusted Hex value of 1.09 cents. So if we start marking time up here, you can expect price to essentially go tag that, because that's just how it works. And we're still working on our ways to the next levels of 30 to 50 cents. That's what I'm seeing here. That's what we've seen all along. And if you look, you'll see that this spread is getting bigger over time, right? And we discussed this earlier a little bit, because this is a function of the T-shares becoming deflationary, i.e. becoming more expensive, right? Which is going to in turn drag the price of Hex up, right? But at the same time, the system is generating all this value. So even though the payout per T-share might be flat, right, 5-6 Hex, the dollar cost is constantly increasing. And that's the key, because that's what the value creation is showing, right? That's why this line, this pink line, is substantially higher than the actual price of Hex, because you're generating economic value with that pink line. That adjusted Hex value is just a tracker for a leading indicator of what the price of Hex is going to be. We ultimately hit both in certain stages, and the price reacts to both in certain ways. I'm not going to go into that in this discussion, but it's important to note that price, the price of Hex, which is what you pay for, in order to get T-shares, which is that pink line, is very, very cheap, because this is the reality right now. When you get 6.32 Hex per T-share, that means that you're making your money back at a rate of 15.82% in 1 year. It's crazy. In 1 year, you're making all that money back ASAP. It's the same. And that's versus an all-time low of 551% for the S&P 500 earnings ratio, price to earnings ratio. And this is going back to October to December 1917, which is the all-time low for World War I. So are we cheap?
Yeah. By a factor of 50 times or more.
That's right, Kareem. And this is the separation between the stakers winning and the traders being left behind over time. That is right, because if you're not earning, right, you're not making any money back here. You're not achieving anything. You're just trying to make money left and right when the market allows you to. Because that's the thing people have to understand about trading. You're swimming in the ocean.
See you later, Sensei.
We see you in the ocean. There's nothing else, right? So if you're in the ocean, you got to ride the current if you want to not get crushed by the water. So as a trader, that is your job. Your job is not to pick bottoms and tops, actually. That's how traders get wrecked. So, yeah. Here, up and to the right, we have fun, and we keep it moving. And don't forget.
Nothing illustrates that point more to me, the trader comment, than I love him to death, but Francis Hunt, a.k.a. Crypto Sniper, posted a chart the other day. He showed 3 ranges with 3 calls, and it was like the first move was like a 300 or 400% move, and then the next move was like a 70% move, and the next move was like an 80 or 90% move or something. But if you would have just took the whole move and just stayed in and got the interest, you would have made multitudes more. It was just it was a no-brainer play back then. I don't know. The trader mindset is one of protecting your wealth, and Hex is like about abundance. So they're just 2 different mindsets,
right?
No matter how you break it down.
Yeah, I used to be a trader for a long time, and it's hard to break out of that habit. So I'm a huge Francis fan. I've followed the guy for a while, actually. I just didn't realize. But trading comes with a cost, and we all know what that cost is, and that cost is downside exposure. And Hex allows you to remove that because when you're staked, you don't have to worry about it. You're getting paid every day, and that's all that matters.
So can we address the liquidity comment retardation on Richard's stream today?
Yep.
I've never heard something so stupid in my life. So in Hex, if you watch the chart regularly, when we have a breakdown, there's limit orders set there that eats the price up and creates a wick. And then the price moves a little bit, and then people reset new limit orders. So the liquidity shows up. It's on-demand liquidity. But of course, anybody that has never seen on-demand liquidity before doesn't know what that means. There's a unified effort here from people to get these things for the yield, get these coins for the yield. But so there's all these limit orders that they stack and then they come back, and it's just, if people wanted to dump the price, they have the opportunity, and people do it all the time.
And they would, because they do. Right?
They do. I've seen $1 million sells in one candle.
Correct.
But the thing that they're not seeing, that the other people that aren't doing that are what they're missing is that opportunity cost of the upside of this asset being not like the other ones. Like, I think they just think these people must obviously think that this is just another crypto.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. It's just not.
It's not. It's the only crypto.
Yeah. It's a safe one. It's a true DeFi. Trustless sovereign money.
It's real DeFi. Real DeFi.
Yeah, and the best part is that the monetary policy is baked in, it's permanent, so it won't change. So that means that the system will function
as
forever.
Designed. Yeah, as designed. I mean, this is truly decentralized, right? Think about something that has on-demand liquidity. When the hell has that ever existed? Never.
I never heard of nothing like that till I seen Hex.
Never.
And then you look at the price chart. It's like, oh, that's that wick though. Like, I thought it was going to roll over that wick though. Yeah. There's just not enough coins to sell.
No.
Because people that are in it are smart. Sorry that there's no dummies in Hex.
I have like 3% of my whole stash. Is like that's it. That's it. Just 3%. That's nothing. And I'm not the OA. So there's people out there with less that have more, but the whole point is they're not selling that shit. Right? That's the whole point. So when you hold the best asset on the planet, why the hell would you sell it? That makes 0 sense. I don't see anybody selling real estate that they don't have to sell. And access drop is locked back in. But yeah, you didn't miss much, bro. I was just saying, no reason to sell this bad boy because you don't sell productive assets. You actually continuously acquire them at cost, right? At whatever the low cost possible you can attain them at. So it's pretty simple, man. And that's pretty much all we got, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's go over the sacrifice details one more time. Currently at 270 billion because we're on a little down move. Hex is at 181.985 in USD value, 181 million. 1.2, we've crossed that threshold. Shout out to Kareem for nailing that one. He really did nail it.
He did.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure he didn't think it was going to happen in 2 days. So how about that one?
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
That was a fun run up. I think we were all kind of living it.
Dude, it was fun to watch that thing just constantly go up. It constantly went up, man. It was crazy. It's crazy. DAI stablecoin, or I'm sorry, USDC at 60 million, DAI stablecoin at 20.9 still, and Tether still at 7.43. So those are the stats. If you want to know more about PulseChain, go to pulsechain.com, please. I'll put it in the chat. And if you want to sacrifice, go to pulse.info. Where is it? Oh, if you want to check the sacrifice leaders, definitely check out pulselead.xyz. Let's get pulse.info just in case that thing tries to pull my freaking wallet.
Woo!
Hate that. You good over there, bro?
Time to party, bro.
Yeah, I know.
We're wrapping this shit up.
Yes, sir.
Just kidding. I got to work in the morning. It sucks. I love working, man. You?
My job could be better. There's a Pulse info information if you want to know more about the sacrifice. Check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank Discord Syndicate for having us on. It's an honor, right? I used to just be a spectator. Now I'm on the other side of things. So here we go, right? It's time to...
Yeah. Thank you, chat, for being here the whole time and hanging out and asking good questions. And yeah,
sorry if we missed them.
We'll probably see you. We'll keep getting better at that. But yeah, we'll probably see you guys next Sunday for sure. There might be something else happening this week. I don't know. I know Tuesday night you got Quant Gang.
Yeah. I mean, look, we still got 277 people watching. So thank you guys for sticking around towards the end. We appreciate you. You know, we enjoy doing this. We enjoy talking about this stuff. So thank you guys for listening to the Knuckleheads Babble. You guys have a good one. You can find Access Alive on Twitter at Access Alive. And I'm just as you see on the screen, Wales Only One. I'm on Telegram at t.me/Wales Only. No numeric on that one. And you can find Access Alive at t.me/Access Alive, just as you see on the screen. Have a good rest of your evening, guys. Peace.
Thank you much. Peace.